Today I'm going to be making really simple cold tofu noodle. I'm using the store-bought tofu noodle as it is. It's made with soy milk. When you open it and drain it, you don't wash it. It comes like this. It looks just like regular, very thin noodle. Sauce, usually in Korea we use white bean and we boil it for a long time and then we blend it and we season it and we call it kongguksu. But today I'm going to be showing you my version of that using tofu, pine nuts, and sesame seeds and almond. With just this simple ingredients, you can make a very healthy but tasty cold noodle. So into the blender, I'm using soft tofu. It's always nicer to use soft tofu because then it becomes a lot more creamier, right? So I would put in 4 small cups because there are 4 of us eating today. If you cannot find soft tofu, use any kind of regular tofu as well. But then that also means you'll have to add in a little bit of milk or soy milk. But if you can find the soft tofu, it's always best. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of pine nuts. Pine nuts will make it very nutty. Some people add like peanuts or even peanut butter, but I like pine nuts because it has that very refined taste. Here I have already a mixture of sesame seeds and almond powder that I used before and I'm using again. So this is good. I'm not going to add any seasoning to it now because I want to taste it before I can add the salt. I'm adding maybe a tablespoon of water just to help it to blend. It's going to be noisy, so let's go. As you can see, the first round is very thick. And of course, it's too thick to put the noodles in. So I'm going to add a little bit of water. At this time, if you have milk, milk is a good substitute for soy milk as well. So you want the soup base or the broth base to be a little bit thick, but not too thick because we have to put noodles into it. Right? Blend it for another 30 seconds and we're done. Now the soy base is ready. I will plate. I've drained the noodles from the package. And as a garnish, I have some sliced cucumbers. And this is just a really typical garnish, but you don't have to use it, or you can also use others. We like to use, for the summer, we also like to add a slice of tomato. And I have some leftover watermelon. So watermelon is also good garnish for the summer. I'm going to taste the soup base and see if the seasoning is good. Remember, I didn't put any salt in it. And this is the time to figure out whether you need to add more salt. I think a little bit of salt would be good. So maybe a teaspoon. I don't want it to be too salty. One of the things about when you plate this noodle dish is always put the noodle, put the garnish, and then pour the liquid on top. That way the garnish and everything doesn't move around so much. Right? So it's finished. With this soy milk or soy-based soup, you can actually keep it in the refrigerator for up to 12 hours. So sometimes I actually make the soup base first and put the garnishes at last and then serve right before the guest comes, right? See how this soup is nice and thick and it wraps around the noodles? That's the best part about eating this kind of noodle. So let me try it. I think that using this soy noodles is really convenient way to cook this kind of noodle dish because you don't have to cook the flour noodles separately. And it tastes as good. It's very healthy. I like to use the tofu as a base, but if you want, you can also buy soy milk at the grocery store and use it as a base as well. Enjoy and see you next week. Bye.